All right, everybody, welcome back. It's the end of the world with Michael and Stu.
I'm Michael.
And I'm Stu, and today we're covering a classic film from a classic era. A masterpiece, some might say. A classic film from a classic era, the 70s. That's right. It's Steven Spielberg's Close Encounters of the Third Kind, written and directed by Spielberg.
Mm-hmm. So,
Michael, are you familiar with the Close Encounters scale?
I am not. I actually was wondering that throughout the movie.
All right. Well, it was developed and first released by famed UFO researcher J. Allen Hynek in 1972 as a sort of way of categorizing different UFO experiences one might have out in the world.
So like categorizing different things that aren't happening?
If you will.
I need a language for the thing I've made up in my head and started telling everybody.
Well, that other people have. He was a scientist who was studying the phenomena.
No, I'm just saying, giving some words for people to describe their complete bullshit is really funny.
Brutal. Wow, you're not.
So say you're making up this. That would be called a close encounter of the first kind.
To quote Fox Mulder, Michael, the truth is out there. All right, and I want to believe. All right. First kind, Close Encounter of the First Kind is a sighting of a UFO at close range without it leaving any evidence of its presence. So you see a flying saucer go by, it's under 150 meters away, you say.
So everything else is just an encounter.
Well, that's a close encounter, right?
You have to be 150 away.
If it's a mile away, I think that's just an encounter. I would
say as at an issue of scale.
Yes.
Considering where presumably they're traveling from, if you're within a mile, you're pretty close to an alien.
Touche. I will give you that. All right. So Close Encounter of the Second Kind, sighting of a UFO that leaves physical evidence, such as scorched ground or a crop circle or rattles some mailboxes, for instance. Mm-hmm. And then the third kind is observation of an animated entity, such as an alien or perhaps a robot controlled by the aliens that's piloting their alien craft. But basically, you see signs of another type of life or animated being in the UFO. Or near the
so like this, the movie's not really properly titled then.
Oh, yeah?
Because either it would be eventually a close encounter of or like mostly Close Encounters of the Second Kind, but wait for it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. Yeah, because we don't have
Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Like the whole movie, they're not.
Oh, I think there's more than one creature at the end, though, right? We see a whole panoply of creatures.
Isn't that a singular encounter? What's happening?
Well, there's all those people are encountering all those creatures. I think there's plurality happening.
So if multiple people are encountering something, it's an encounters. It's not just one big.
Yes, it's an encounters. Exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself. So, all right.
That would have been a better title. And Close Encounters.
We've already established that Michael is a hater of aliens. He doesn't believe they're real. He doesn't believe they're visiting. Doesn't believe they're friendly or have animus towards us.
I would say I don't think that's true at all. I'm the one, if we go back to the hypothetical, which it definitely applies to this movie, about whether you would leave if given the opportunity, but you couldn't inform anyone, let's say your family.
Yeah, I guess you're right. This is your bread and butter movie. This is actually this is the story of your life, essentially.
Well, unfortunately, not yet.
All right. So Spielberg was interested in the stars and space since he was a kid. I think his dad, anecdote he tells us, his dad, when he was young, brought him out to a open field, and there were a bunch of other people gathered around, and kid Spielberg was like, "Dad, what the hell is going on?" And he says, "Shh, lie down on your back." And they just spent the night watching a meteor shower up above, shooting stars one after another. And Spielberg said this impressed on him the reality that, oh my God, there's so much stuff out there beyond our meager Earth, you know? And this inspired his love of all things space related. It's what pilled him to
And he
space.
believes in aliens?
I think he probably believes that they can make him a lot of money. I mean, I think he believes that they're out there somewhere. I don't know that he believes they've actually been actively coming to the Earth, but I think he was certainly fascinated by the popular folklore that emerged around that possibility, right?
Sure.
And he's just revisited this material this year with what I've heard is a pretty mediocre mid Spielberg Disclosure Day. Sort of rehashes some of these.
Has he just lost his fastball?
He's lost his magic. He's lost that magic feeling, right?
I mean, I guess that's not fair. He did do West Side Story.
He's lost that lovin' feeling. People liked West Side Story. People said it was great.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
Of course not.
Neither did
But
I.
he did do Lincoln, which we spoke briefly about.
Well,
last
that's
week.
another reason that I thought to do this week. Lincoln is the last Spielberg movie that I've watched.
Yeah, we've got Bridge of Spies, the BFG, the Post, Ready Player One.
I never saw that, although people have been encouraging us to cover it for the show.
That would be one to
time.
do, and I think we should do Disclosure Day eventually.
Yeah, I think we tend to wait on.
He also produced An American Tale, Five Will Goes West. If we ever really want to spice it up,
I was very aware of that, although he produced the original American Tale as well.
Wow, he's got some production credits.
Oh yeah,
Memoirs of a Geisha,
Back to the Future,
right down the middle for Spielberg.
Yeah. Back to the Future, right? Gremlins. These are productions that he
Hamnet.
He produced Hamnet.
Well, I mean, again, it says producing credits, so his level of involvement unclear.
May vary. Yeah. But he's obviously, I've told my anecdote about running into Spielberg, the obsessive stalker fan nearby, one of the highlights of my life. Probably the most famous person I've ever almost bumped into as they were fleeing from Stalker.
Sure.
I guess I've seen Obama IRL. He's probably the only rival. But
yeah. Who do you think has a bigger and more enduring impact, Spielberg or Obama?
I think Obama probably.
Really?
I think first black president.
I don't know.
A pretty big
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
That's good. I love Spielberg. I'm a Spielberg head. I don't think he's particularly good, but I'm glad he's out there doing his thing. I don't even like all of his hits. I love Jaws, huge Jaws guy. And
Indiana Jones is
love
so
the
good.
Indiana Jones, of course. I'm not a big E.T. guy. I think that's where I draw the line.
Yeah, I don't love it either. Although, Jurassic Park was really good.
Park, amazing. Yeah.
Hook.
List. Can't beat List, man. Yeah, List and Park in the same year. That's pretty dynamic, right?
I mean, that's actually crazy. Also, just really funny to just go Park, List, back to Park. Yeah. Lost World coming after.
And Park 2 being one of the few sequels he's ever done. I don't know.
And even that was only 1 year away from Ryan.
Yeah.
Right?
Huge.
Really stretched his legs a bit.
Big, impactful movie. Seeing that in the theater, mind-blowing. Finally, I knew what it was.
I
knew what the greatest generation went through on those beaches, Michael, at long last.
It's a truly insane run of movies.
AI.
Say what you will about, if you like him or not, whatever. I think he's great.
AI then Report. I mean, come on.
Okay, we have to stop.
No, his filmography is dynamic. I don't like all these movies, but they're all impressive, and I think there's all something interesting.
This is what I'm saying about the Obama thing. I mean, there is a real footprint on American society and pop culture. That
Spielberg represents.
I mean, it's very substantial.
To me, I hadn't seen this. I think we were talking before we were recording. Neither of us have seen this movie probably since the 90s.
Certainly.
Right. I saw it in high school, at a Blockbuster, rented it one night just because I thought I should. Oh, this is one of Spielberg's first big hits. I should check it out.
I think I saw it really early, and then you're just again, it's one of those movies you're just always aware of.
It's in the background, the
imagery you remember, but I had no recollection of the story until right at the end.
It's part of our cultural tapestry. I think it's safe to say.
Yes,
not the most prominent aspect of the tapestry, but
also, as we'll get into, it's fascinating in many ways in terms of how it confronts aliens without like hammering the apocalyptic over your head, which we are now want to do.
I would say that this is an apocalyptic film, but an apocalypse in the sense of like an unveiling, you know?
Yes, what I also mean though is that there seems to be with movies like this now almost always this like incredible dread both about the motivations of those on Earth
And
and potential for destruction from whatever the motivation of the aliens is.
From those beyond, yes.
The framework is negative and fearful and paranoid. And this, although it obviously dabbles in concern, and even there is a very funny moment where they're talking briefly about like a pandemic and how someone might not leave because they think they're immune or whatever. Like there are a couple things, but overall, it's like an innocent movie.
Yeah, and this actually ties in with the first movie we ever covered. That's right. It's Arrival. Denis Villeneuve said that this is his biggest inspiration for Arrival. Like this was the movie, which I think you can really see in the final interaction sequences.
You can, but it's
even also, Arrival has a lot more sinister subtext. I mean, the military is going to nuke the things. They're going to, right? There's this whole, and China is involved. What can we do about China? Right. General Zhang or whatever his name is, right? Right. Yeah, I think there are a couple things I noted about revisiting this. First of all, I didn't remember the plot really at all. I just knew that they met the aliens at the end. But it's a lot kind of grittier, more like Jaws than I remembered. I associate this early period of Spielberg, Jaws, and even the stuff, the made-for-TV movie where the guy's running from the truck, or even his Columbo episode, which I would highly recommend. It's great. I'm a huge Columbo fan. You'll be shocked to learn. And there's like a kind of 70s, like New Hollywood vibe where things feel lived in. Even E.T. carries this over, right? I think it's not until you get into by the 90s with Jurassic Park, and Schindler's List, you're getting like, that's more pure Hollywood to me. We've left behind the kind of there's something kind of gross about the world that this movie inhabits, like the house that the characters live in. And there's a little bit more zaniness to this. Like Richard Dreyfuss, who is of course in Jaws as the annoying scientist, is the sole star here, and he isn't wearing glasses, which I found
really threw me.
Very distracting. And then there's Bob Balaban, who's like wearing glasses and is kind of a Dreyfuss. They're quite similar in some ways, right? Anyway,
and the two women look the same too.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So the basic premise here is we see a bunch of guys in the desert as the movie opens, and all these airplanes have appeared out of nowhere, and we don't know where we are at first. It seems to be people are speaking Spanish, but then the French translator is needed. And this is Bob Balaban's David Laughlin character, who's a cartographer who's acting in a temporary capacity as a translator for this French team led by Claude Lecomte, who's played by the great French director Francois Truffaut.
Love it.
Which is very strange. In The Fabelmans, David Lynch plays John Ford, right? So I think Spielberg casting other directors in his movies is like a thing he's returned to later in his career. These planes have appeared out of nowhere, and it turns out they are all from 1945, and they mysteriously disappeared, but now they look new despite being missing for 35 years or 32 years or whatever it is at the time, right? We cut to air traffic controllers. There's a near mid-air collision over Indianapolis. Just in the aftermath of that, we cut to Muncie, Indiana. A child awakens to find all of his electronic toys have sprung to life. They've gained a will of their own. Sort of wind-up toys, these kind of chintzy 70s toys.
Remote control cars and stuff.
Yeah, like racetrack where the cars race around. This is the kind of stuff I got as a young child and used once and then threw away. scorning the idea of donating it to some kid in need. I said, never, it's mine, and I'll throw it away if I want. Sorry, I don't know what I'm doing here. I was not that much of a monster, or was I? The child runs out into the field, kind of lured by this energy source.
Yes. The first example of this sort of people being compelled.
Yeah, it has a call to people. The mother follows and catches him before he can go off and join the aliens. We see this guy, Roy Neary. This is our protagonist, played by Richard Dreyfuss. He's got 3 small kids. I think they're 9, 6, and 3 or something.
Great scene. Great scene, because he's like building it up that his home life sucks and his kids are terrible.
Yeah.
And it really puts you right in those situations when you're like with a family with young kids
and the kids are
actually out of control.
Yeah.
You just like need the noise to stop. Like when the kid is banging the toy off and trying to break it.
Yeah. Smashing the daughter's toy. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's so irritating. It goes on for like a full minute and it's just like, shut up.
And the kid is really quite big, but he's in a pen still, like a playpen kind of thing. And it's like these parents are in over their heads. The dad is just desperate to take them all to see Pinocchio, just recapture a glimmer of his childhood.
Yeah.
And the kids seem very indifferent to this.
A weird Spielberg statement. I don't really know what it's about. It's like the dad wants to show his kids like this old classic
the magic,
movie,
yeah.
But all they want is to go golfing, mini
golf, yeah, which they call crazy golf for some reason.
Was there ever a time where it's like people aren't going to the movies anymore because there's so many other entertainment options? For example, mini golf. Like, I wonder if there was an article like that. You know how there's always one?
Like that was what was the big threat to Hollywood in the 70s.
Yeah.
Pinocchio is interesting because Pinocchio is about an inanimate wooden child who becomes animated by a father's love, and his only desire is to be a real boy. It's a sort of
and he kind of gets animated, right? Through this movie.
When You Wish Upon a Star, the theme song of Pinocchio, which is how Pinocchio ultimately transforms after the whole. You ever watch the Jordan Peterson video about Pinocchio?
No.
Highly recommended. He cries, and they go to that pleasure island where there's a carnival and they turn into donkeys and stuff. Jordan Peterson's just weeping. He's like, they transform into asses. He's just like so heartbroken about the transgression on this pleasure island. It's like, yeah, this is the guy I need to help me organize my life. So we cut back to the little kid who we find out is named Gary, and I'm getting abduction. Gary.
Isn't it Barry?
I thought it was Gary.
No.
Look it up. Tell me I'm wrong.
Barry.
It's Barry?
Barry. Yeah.
Really?
Barry.
Wow, maybe I'm the one who needs his head examined. Or at least his hearing. It's really Barry.
It's really Barry. That's what it says here. Barry.
On IMDb?
Yeah, it says cast Barry and a picture of the kid. Oh,
it is Barry. You're right. Wow.
You went and checked after me, huh?
Brutal.
Just no trust.
I thought maybe you were, on the wrong. You were on the bad internet, Michael. I don't know. You got hacked. I don't know. All right, so I guess I'll just have to call him Barry, even though I thought Gary was a better name for a small child, right? Gary Shandling, right?
Sure.
Well, I suppose that's Gary.
That is a Gary. That actually is.
That's Gary.
One wonders if he would have had the same cultural impact had he not been known as Barry Shandling. We will never know.
I sense not. All right. Barry ran off. Really getting abduction vibes from this, but he doesn't get abducted. The mom saves him, as we said. Later, we see Roy, who's some kind of like electrical hand. He like checks power lines. If there's
he works for the city.
Yeah, if there's an outage, he drives to the area to see if the transformer's down or what have you. We see him in his truck doing this.
But also doesn't seem to have a great grasp of the local area.
Yeah, his life honestly is a mess. He doesn't like his family. They have a small house that's probably a little too small for the number of kids. He
doesn't want to go to the work, but he doesn't want to stay.
Yeah, it's a real nightmare. He while he's stopped in front of a train crossing, his car just starts going nuts, and he doesn't notice it, but there's an alien spaceship directly behind him.
I love that. They try to set that up because right before it happens, the car lights can be seen behind, and then a guy yells at him.
Right.
And then the next set of lights are a massive alien ship, but
yeah,
I guess he's not bothered.
And then he didn't
even know that he was already having a close encounter of the first kind.
Yeah, I think that would be the second kind, because it's impacting his car, right? The power's going on. I just mean
he's within the distance.
Yeah. Before
second kind, instant, like gonna follow like this, right? When the mailbox.
And then he glances up after this shaking stops, and you see a kind of glimpse of a bigger ship that's behind the cloud, but in a way that it could almost be, I don't know, a mirage or something in the sky. So he gets very excited when he sees these lights flying through the sky, and it shines a beam down on the earth. He pursues. A bunch of cops drive by, and he follows them, and he joins in the chase. And one of the cops is so intent on following these ships, he doesn't notice when the road turns, and he just veers off the highway into a field. He seems to be fine, but again, this idea that they just kind of possess you, right? You're obsessed by them. And he takes his kids out in the middle of the night because he wants them to experience what he just experienced. Yeah. They think he's insane. And the main rift,
he's like, this is actually way more magical than Pinocchio. Wait till you see this.
Yeah. And they see nothing. They, of course, because the skeptics are there, because Scully came along, Mulder sees it. Scully sees nothing till she's abducted and impregnated by the aliens and meets Mulder's long dead abductee sister. Never mind. We cut to another one of these French investigation in the middle.
Roy also gets sunburned.
Half of his face is burned by the alien radiation, which is a great look. I recommend all try it. And we cut to Gobi Desert, Mongolia. Michael, are you familiar with the Gobi Desert?
Not really.
It's sort of Genghis.
I've heard of it.
Genghis Khan zone, right?
Yeah, I mean, what do you mean by familiar?
I thought maybe
have I ever heard of it?
Yeah, you spent some hours, contemplating the Gobi.
No, I don't think I have. Well, more of a Sahara guy myself.
I'm a Sahara guy. I'm more of a Mojave guy. So
sure,
it takes all kinds. Strangely enough, a gigantic, even dare we say, a ginormous ship has appeared in the middle of the desert. No explanation for this. This is sort of like when you find the fossil of a coral reef in the middle of the desert, and a know-it-all like me comes along and is like, well, actually, this used to be an ocean because of plate tectonics. Right. Except in this case, there's no explanation, because even if it was, when it was last an ocean, there were not any enormous naval ships. This was a scene that was cut from the theatrical release and put back in by Spielberg later. Oh. But I think it's just to show that the aliens are having a global effect, right?
Yeah.
One thing I would say about this movie is that it anticipates what happens to families when particularly the father, but really any important member of the family, becomes red-pilled or conspiracy-pilled more generally, right? Mm-hmm. Because it starts driving a wedge between Roy and the rest of his family immediately.
Yeah, how could it not?
Right. I mean, he's so insistent that he saw what he saw. He is burned. It's a little weird. The wife's like, I need you to put this tanning cream on your other half of your face. You look like a freak. And he's like, what
a great solution.
There. I'll just say that I fell asleep in front of the tanning bed or whatever. And this has clearly touched and changed him. And his relationship with the family is destroyed from this point on. It deteriorates further, but the rift is there. This is what happens. I think the key difference in this movie from the guy who gets obsessed with QAnon or what have you is, in this case, he's completely right.
Yeah. It's so good.
And did they ever learn what happened to him? Unclear. We cut to India. The French team is again on the scene.
Yeah, what a travel budget for the French group.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. We've got to be in Dar es Salaam, India, and stat. Yes, at once, Dr. Lacombe.
Get me Francois Truffaut.
And they did shoot on location in India. I don't think the Mongolia thing was actually in Mongolia. The Cold War still being very much on at the time. This is a little bit of a foreshadowing of Indiana Jones with these like jumping between different locations. Yeah. We don't quite have the map where, you know, the famous map.
I love the map.
The map is great, right? A hill full of Indian men are chanting this mysterious melody that they all heard when they had a group close encounter with one of these alien ships. This melody will be the key that unlocks everything.
Still of the second kind.
This is still a second kind. They've left an audible trace of themselves in the form of the melody, but no one has seen any little gray men.
They've all had unencounters of the second kind.
We see Lacombe playing this recording that he's made and teaching a kind of sign language version of the melody to an audience of other UFO experts. Who they are they at the UN? Are they the CIA? We don't know.
I don't know, but they're getting handed documents.
Yeah, it's a lot of important documents. Roy meets Jillian, who's the mother of Barry, and she's also been sunburned, but more evenly than he has. And they connect at once, and you're like, okay, so here's the love interest, right? And
well, it's also similar to the red pill thing of like you find somebody.
Yeah, she's a pilled person also. Yeah, this is his QAnon girlfriend. It's perfect.
Maybe I'm actually in love with the QAnon woman, not my bitch wife.
Terrible. A bunch of people who've also experienced seeing the UFOs are gathering together in the hope that they'll return. We see two lights in the distance and we think, oh my God, they're coming back. But no, it's just two helicopters appearing. And they're coming to disperse the crowd, it seems. It's unclear who they are again, police.
Yeah, it's like the first moment of some sort of like authority trying to control a situation, right?
Yeah, but I think the thing that's different about this movie is even this has so much less menace than the X-Files, the smoking guys. Mulder, you're not going any further with this investigation. I don't care if Skinner thinks he can protect you.
Right, like now these movies tend to take place like usually there is this like quirky out-of-pocket scientist who knows something that the military doesn't want to know, but you're also seeing a lot of discussions happening in the Situation Room, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So these tones, they start playing the tones into space, I guess, and they receive a numerical answer, a sequence of numbers. And Bob Balaban figures out, because remember, he's a cartographer. Wait a minute, these are latitude and longitude numbers. Mm-hmm. They realize the latitude and longitude numbers that has been given back.
I love in this room of seeming geniuses.
Yeah, the only one is like
the only person was actually worked directly with figures like this before.
I'm a map maker. This involves my special interest in maps. He basically it's Devil's Tower in Wyoming, right? Mm-hmm. Michael, you ever visit Devil's Tower? I know you're quite an American. I've never been either. You know, I've been to Wyoming at least 3 times. So you'd think I would have gone to the tower, but no, I have not. It's a real moral failing of mine. Now, one thing I forgot to mention earlier when Jillian, the mother of little Barry, is they all start having this image of a mountain of some kind. They all start trying to sculpt it almost compulsively, right? They're just like, Barry is like building a little mound of mud and they all start like running forks down the side of it. And once you've seen this movie for the first time, it's a little bit annoying because you're like, it's Devil's Tower, guys. Like, put it together. Just like, when they start using the forks on the side, you're like, oh my God, it's the fucking. Yeah. Do you know what Devil's Tower is, actually?
No.
So it's lava. There used to be a volcano. It's lava that's fossilized, and the earth that was around it making up the volcano has eroded, leaving only the frozen lava core.
I see.
Isn't that cool? I think that's pretty metal. So that night, after they go home, little Barry is, wait for it, abducted by...
But he also plays the tones himself on a
little xylophone, which probably triggers them. They probably have eyes and ears everywhere. There's probably a little alien CCTV action going on among those there.
Good thing it wasn't just like 3 chords like C, D, G, and these aliens are having to find every amateur guitarist.
Just every asshole on Earth is yeah. So Barry's abducted, and it's apparently in the notes I did realize it was not Gary at some point because I start to write Barry.
Oh yeah, he switched over to Barry.
Weird.
You didn't seem to be mad about it in the notes.
What do you mean that it wasn't Gary?
Like it should have been Gary. Where's that in the notes?
Yeah. What's wrong with me? There's a press conference that Roy attends. Jillian is kind of it's for all the people who've experienced these UFO sightings.
Yeah.
And he's trying to get her attention, but she's preoccupied, her son having been abducted. Again, the Air Force meeting, it's not as adversarial as you'd expect. They're like, we don't know what these UFO things you're seeing are, but they're not a special government test plane, if that's what you're thinking, and we don't have any photos. How is it that these are real if there's no photos? They do this like logical experiment where it's like, think of all the people around the world with cameras. How is it none of them have ever snapped an idle shot that captured? And it's like, you think about that today with the prevalence of camera phones, and it's not looking so good for our aliens being real, as you so cynically put it at the outset of our show, Michael. So he was like, it'll be easy for me to just say it was the Air Force, but it's not. You can't fool us by agreeing with us. And then a guy's like, I saw Bigfoot once, 1951 in Sequoia National Park. So it's kind of brought out all the crazies. This is like a Big Tent conspiracy scenario, much like QAnon itself, right?
But again, without like the accompanied by like malevolence.
There's no threat.
Yes.
They're just like, look, we don't have the answers. Sorry. I mean, they're lying. They know more than they're saying, but they actually don't really know that much about the aliens. It's not like they've been having secret backroom deals a la the Smoking Man and the sinister plot to ruin Mulder's father.
Right. And when they do like try to prevent information or try to,
they're terrible at it.
And like cordon off the space, it somehow seems more reasonable than the way that it's done now. You know what I mean?
They're just kind of like, look, there could be riots. It could be, it's a little bit like your Arrival thing where, once news of the aliens arrives, there should be total chaos. That there isn't is your big beef with Arrival, right? That people are still going to their job at the college, the security guard or the banker or what have you. So we see that they are preparing for some kind of rendezvous in Wyoming. They have the coordinates. The French team has joined, which again, it's like, this is an international endeavor. A French team wants in on this, let them in, And they decide they're going to fake a quarantine around the tower.
Which again, that's also different, right? Now it's like, can we trust the French?
Yeah.
You sure can't trust the Chinese, right?
No, I mean, exactly. And, well, they're not the Russians, right? If it were a Soviet team,
I guess
this might have been a different matter. Right. But they're going to do
interestingly, they don't make an appearance, right?
No, I mean, we see Mongolia, which was a Soviet satellite, but there's no mention of the Cold War at all. That's right. They're gonna do a false flag and say that there's been a deadly nerve gas has spilled
after toying with the idea of a virus before getting some.
They're
great,
but someone will claim he's immune.
No one will believe that it's a plague anymore. You can't get people to believe in a plague like this. That was really sort of prescient.
So we see that Roy is back at home with the family. It's going worse than ever, right?
Maybe for me, the best scene of the movie. I cackling. He puts so many mashed potatoes on his plate,
and to build a tower,
and his little kids are like, okay, this is really not good.
And the kids are crying because the dad's like building this tower.
Yeah.
Which
It's so much mashed potatoes. He does look so deranged.
Yeah. I think I'm getting the vibes that, in the words of the great sage Dave Matthews, he's perhaps preparing to say goodbye to his family. Dave Matthews invented that phrase, by the way. That's him. I guess you've noticed something a little strange with Dad. It's okay. I'm still Dad, he says. And there is something kind of anguishing about this, right? I mean, it's like,
especially because by this point in the movie, you know that he's not wrong, at least to some degree.
But you also understand why his family thinks he's insane.
Yeah, that's right.
He's acting insane. And it is hard to recognize your parents as human beings, right? That's like the important stage in adulthood that you shouldn't have to come to when you're 8. But when Dad is building mashed potato towers and Mom is like clearly not happy, Dad is
after like slaving over the said mashed potatoes.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's not even, the kids aren't even eating them. The dad's just building a tower out of them.
And
which is funny. It's also like a childlike activity, right? It's something that like a distracted child would do.
Oh, 100%. And the child scorns the father most of all for his childishness.
That's right.
I think the son is possibly a sociopathic monster because he's just so angry. He hates the dad so much for his childlike nature. And he starts to really lose his mind, right? He starts to make this sculpture, starts digging up shrubs. This is like throughout the night that follows.
Yeah. He showers with all his clothes on.
The wife is screaming at him, "What are you doing?" He's in the shower. He's like sleeping in the shower in the water. It's he's gone mental, to put it as the British might, right? He's gone completely mental. Then he starts,
she leaves, right?
What's that? Well, once he starts shoveling dirt and he has a realization. He's building this little sculpture and he realizes he needs to make a big version because he chops off the top and realizes that was the missing piece. And so he's just stealing chicken wire, stealing shrubs, just shoveling dirt into the house. The whole neighborhood, by the way, is joining the family in their horror at his behavior.
Sure.
He's broken the social contract, Michael. And as Hobbes demands, he must be brutally punished and shunned, even killed. So she leaves. She leaves them and we never see them again. They're gone. His family. That's it. He builds a massive replica of Devil's Tower in his home. And it's like, wow, I bet the props department had fun doing this. You know, I like that we've seen no evidence that he has any actual skill as a sculptor. And yet he has built this like flawless, beautiful replica as if that's waiting within all of us just to be brought out by
it's part of like he's being called to do
the encounter has brought this out of him, right? Yeah. We see that Jillian in her house has been sketching the tower. Yeah. And then finally, thank God, there's a news broadcast about Devil's Tower. And they play the game of like, is he going to look up and see the tower that it's, and then he finally does. And you're thinking, oh, thank God. He knows. And so he drives to Devil's Tower immediately, despite having been warned there's an outbreak of lethal gas that could kill you. Everyone's evacuated for hundreds of square miles around the tower. Do you ever have that call when there's like a disaster in the works?
No.
We're just like, I need to go to be part of the disaster.
Have you?
I have not, but one of my best friends in college, I remember on 9/11, we were all gathered in his dorm room and he came in, we were with his roommates and he came in. He's like, are you ready to go? And I was like, go where? And he was like, to New York.
What?
Yeah. And I was like, no, I'm not ready to go to New York. He just had this weird like death drive to like go experience firsthand.
Wow.
He didn't go.
Never heard of that.
He didn't go. It's sort of rubbernecking adjacent, but like on a more death drive kind of level. Yeah. There's a little bit of that energy with this. They go, this is when the movie to me really picked up. I found the middle section where they're trying to figure out what the tower is a little slow, you know. It's like, all right, can we get to the tower, for God's sake? When are we going to get to the Devil Tower? So he meets up with Jillian, who's also been compelled. She's like about to be evacuated on a train, but he rescues her, and he finds some kind of back roads. He veers off. He's smashing through barbed wire. They're just desperate to get to within sight of the tower. And
it also never feels like they're not going to make it.
No, yeah. The things in their way. This is not a full military, you know.
That's right.
There's no tanks blowing them up or anything.
Hazmat suits everywhere. Well, eventually.
There are people with gas masks, and there are dead animals all over. So it does seem like they've taken the trouble of poisoning the animals to make their lie convincing, which is monstrous. So they get captured, of course, by the military. They're taken to be debriefed by Dr. Lacombe and his assistant, Laughlin.
Again, not that edgy.
They're just like, look, tell us about why you're here. And they're just like, I felt compelled. I need the answer, right? And that's the thing. This again parallels the conspiracy mindset. The teleology. Once I have the answer, everything will be different. Once we know who killed Kennedy, everything will change. When, as I've said over and over again, we already do know, and it changed nothing. And even if I'm wrong and it was some other, it will still change nothing. Right? Mm-hmm. That there's actually, life's a journey, a series of processes. It's a cybernetic process of feedback, consolidation, and more feedback, right? Just as we've talked about many times. And there is no answer. I mean, love is the answer. Let it be. Anyway, Dr. Lacombe sees them. They sneak out of this helicopter. They're going to be flown away. And then one other guy comes along, and the cops, not the cops, they sneak off to climb the mountain on their own. There's this kind of ridiculous chase sequence where the military helicopters are chasing them with sleep gas. And it's like, they're outside. Yeah. You can't like gas them from a helicopter that's just trailing gas out of it. I mean, you blow a bomb that has gas in it, maybe.
It also doesn't, I don't know how to explain it. Watching it, like maybe it's just because I guess I did know
they were going to make it.
But I was starting to piece together the ending that I sort of had recalled. But like, it doesn't really feel all that dangerous. Like they're actually going to get caught, really.
No.
Like you know what I mean? Like,
it doesn't feel like they're trying that hard to catch them.
That's right.
And the third guy, however, Larry, not to be confused with Gary or Barry, is he actually lies down. He's getting a little worn out by the hike up the side of Devil's Tower, and he is brutally gassed. Falls asleep. There's a couple of like, Roy's gonna slide down, but Jillian pulls him up. You know, they work together. And then they round a bend and find, what is it? A mysterious base. The military has set in place for this rendezvous with the stars. And there's like this moment where they have this giant ARP synthesizer. ARP synths were a great boutique synth company in the 70s and early 80s. I have an ARP synth in the other room, actually. It's one of the later ones. It's not one of the most sought after ones. Really cool instruments. But the synth they have here is a gigantic one. And it's hooked up with a light show. They're playing this melody. And all of a sudden, these three ships that we saw before come. Then a sort of Lost-esque smoke monster arrives out of the sky. There's sort of tendrils of smoke. All of this stuff looks...
And it's a very slow build, right?
And like nothing happens. The aliens don't start shooting or killing or...
And there's not like a mass of tanks and nuclear
weapons. No, it's just a bunch of scientists on a base.
Just standing there waiting to see what's about to happen.
And they're excited. They're happy. They're filming it. They're recording it. And then the mothership arrives, and the mothership is just this massive thing. There's a symphony that kind of goes on between the mothership and the synthesizer. The music is all very cool. It's John Williams, obviously, Spielberg's longtime collaborator. And I like the idea of using music as a shared symbolic language to communicate with the aliens. This is how they're sending messages. This is how they're expressing some kind of understanding. There's a sync that develops between them, albeit this is a very primitive kind of messaging in cybernetic terms. Because it's not language even yet. It's just mathematical. It's relations between notes. But it's good enough for the aliens because, you know, the ship starts to open, the mothership.
So this is a question I have before you get to the
Sure, please.
Like, is the implication that if the music didn't work for them, that they wouldn't have released all of the contents of the ship?
I sort of wonder about that. Like, if they didn't have that rapport that is established at the exchange.
Like, or is it like a sense that sharing that musicality eases both groups to not
try
to blow each other into smithereens?
Yeah, and I think we also are to understand that the aliens are in the dominant position here, right? I mean, clearly they have,
I would say so,
the capacity to dislocate pilots from ships.
We do have our temporary base.
Yeah. So
the mothership opens. Richard
Dreyfuss can wait. Roy can wait no longer. He runs down and he's just with the other one. They're like, "Oh, you got here. All right." No one's mad. No one's like, "You can't see this," you know?
Right.
And they're like, "Well, you did it. You got us, buddy." It opens and all these soldiers that were abducted start to emerge. I've gone back to Gary in the notes, but little Gary / Barry as he actually is among those who comes out, right? And the soldiers come out unaware that it's been presumably 30 plus years since they were abducted. And they just they're like, "Sergeant so-and-so, ID number, blah, blah, blah," right? And they haven't aged.
This part I love because they come out to 1977 and not one of them is like, "What are you guys wearing?
What the hell are those bell-bottom pants?"
What? Wait a minute. Is that the new ARP synth?
Yeah, they're all just kind of bewildered and they just do their duty. Right. And I want to see the movie about their reintegration.
Oh, that'd be great.
Right? What happens to the guy who spent, and I think the implication is they went to the alien homeworld, but they did so at relativistic speeds. So that they haven't aged, and not as much time has passed for them as it has for all of us, right? Then a spindly creature emerges after little Barry is freed.
Real slender man bodies.
Big, slender. I wonder if the alien ship is the real Slender Mansion. I fear as much. So, Dr. Lacombe asks Roy, "What do you want to know? Like, what do you want?" And he says, "I want to know it's real." And then a bunch of...
That's how I feel too.
Little Barry is reunited with his mom. She runs back to the rear, but takes out her camera and starts photographing all of this. Just in case we were worried the government was going to try and keep a lid on this. So all these little aliens come out. Apparently the little aliens were played by children, believe it or not. Female children. And Neary is dressed up with all these other volunteers who are we've seen hints of them earlier in the film, but they're the people who volunteered to like be ambassadors to go along with the aliens. But the aliens only choose one, and guess what? It's Roy. And they're like embracing his hands, they're holding him. And
why is he chosen?
Because he's been having the visions.
Yeah, and like, is it just that like his desire to know is so pure?
I think so. He has the childlike wonder of little Barry Gary, and right, and he decides to just abandon his family and go into space. As he's doing so, the "When You Wish Upon a Star" theme from Pinocchio does briefly play. Mm-hmm. A little callback.
What's the point of Barry?
The kid?
Yeah.
I think to just before he does make out briefly with her mother, right?
But like, what is Barry about? So sure.
I think it's to show that it's romanticism, right? The childishness, the childlike wonder that loves Pinocchio is what the aliens value in us.
What were the aliens doing abducting Barry, do you think? Like, what was the point of that?
I think they just liked him. They wanted to learn from his joyous, childish imagination. And then it's the same quality that Roy has that sort of unites him with little Barry. Because as Dreyfuss said in an interview, like, Roy is a child, right? Mm-hmm. He's not a man. He's not a real father. He's just another child. And the alien, is smiling. There's this alien that's like creepily smiling at all the people, and sort of like he does the hand signal for the tones, like to show. And for a second I thought, well, is that alien going to stay behind and like teach us about its alien ways? But no. Barry waves goodbye. And Roy gets on the ship, and off to space they go. The end.
Yeah, just a happy ending.
Yeah, he just goes. He gets to, when he wishes upon us, he gets to become a real boy. Except in this sense, it's like he's a real boy in that he's a child. Like he gets to be a child again amongst these aliens who are childlike in their love of music and light shows and
right. But and there's also no implication that like they're coming back.
No, or that there is going to be any deeper exchange with humanity.
Right.
Although we don't know. I mean, presumably that. What if they hate Roy like his family did?
Yeah.
And are just like, we've made a horrible mistake. It's
definitely not left like anybody is in any danger. Right?
No. And the world's going to find out about this.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like they're going to hide it.
Well, so Jillian, if they do, Jillian has the evidence, right?
Right, exactly. So then is it just like, oh, we're going to tell everybody about this close encounter that happened?
Yeah, and what are they going to say? Because it's not like they've actually learned anything more. All they can say is, actually, there are aliens, and they took a guy. He's from Indiana. He went away with them. They had these. By the way,
do you guys have any way of getting in touch with him?
By the way, 85-year-old woman. Yeah, your son, we said, died in World War II. He's back at same age that he was when he left. Don't worry about it. And some of them were left later. Some of them were abducted in the 50s, and Korean War people. And it's they really only abduct prior to abducting little Carrie. I'm just kidding. The third name. They seem to have primarily abducted military-aged men, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's the first child, because we don't see any other children coming off the ship, right?
No, nope.
I don't know. I mean, all right, so final thoughts on this movie. It's kind of fun. I like the chase thing at the end. I like the optimistic. It drags a bit. And sure. I do despise Richard Dreyfuss, although that mostly is because of stuff that's happened long after this.
Yeah.
Such as his being in Mr. Holland's Opus.
I also think it's just fun how, like, not only does it not really feel like a crazy apocalypse is truly at stake at any point, you don't have any moment of like serious, overwhelming human loss.
No. I mean, even the leaving of his family feels like a net positive.
Oh yeah, for both probably.
Yeah, she's going to be happier. Whoever, I mean, he was.
Yeah, I don't like. I do think it's a really interesting comparison to the current moment, sort of that, like, certainly over the last few years, like even built the idea of the podcast, right?
Yeah.
This idea of apocalyptic thinking versus imagination of what may be beyond, know?
Yeah.
Kind of cool to go back to this era where that was the primary concern.
Which is like, more in line with Star Trek, right? Like, we're exploring space, and Star Trek, the motion picture, I think is around this same year or the year after. And it's also, the thing about it is, though, it's not like the 70s were great.
Right.
I mean, it's the era of Watergate. It's the end of the Vietnam War, energy crisis, sort of the malaise speech by Jimmy Carter, right? Like, this is Jonestown, right? This is like an era of horrors, the rise of Reagan and the, focus on the family and all that stuff.
And like the oil crises.
That's why I say energy crisis, right? There's there's still this underlying optimism that it feels like we just lack in the present moment.
Well, and also a choice, it seems, by Spielberg to kind of like depoliticize the Alien movie, right?
Yeah.
Like,
right.
Again,
And
demilitarize.
Yeah.
There's no like B story about having to negotiate with the Soviets to get some key piece of information that would actually save humanity. Like none of this happens.
No.
It's not bought. Yeah. It's it was certainly better than I thought it was going to be, I guess.
Yeah.
And also the one thing is like watching the ending, which I was reminded of, like I can imagine it would have been truly amazing to watch it in theater in 1977.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, this is the year.
It really is quite spectacular.
This is the year of Star Wars, right? I mean, this is like the year of the sci-fi breakout. Mm-hmm. So, all right, I think fun conversation. Next week we're going to be talking about a couple articles. One focusing on this sort of social media, the Meta lawsuit that's potentially bankrupting them if it goes through. It's
built
just
around
about all the damage they've done to particularly young girls' mental health.
A bunch of the other tech big guys that were implicated have all settled. Today, I think it was announced that Snap had settled, leaving Meta to fight what I will term euphemistically as the good fight.
And then we're going to look at a piece by Matthias Fuhling from The Cosmonaut about technocracy, AI, and the end of the world, which, is pretty up our alley. Talks a little about OpenAI, talks about abundance, and talks about Eliezer Yudkowsky.
Abundance boys are back in town.
All of this stuff we've covered before, but I thought this article did a really nice job of summing up the sort of commonalities and these different perspectives on the future or lack thereof. So that will be fun next week. And in the meantime, if you like the show, you can follow us on the podcatcher of your choice. If you really like the show, you can give us a rating and or review on that podcatcher. And if you'd like to, you could also follow us on Instagram at the End of the World WMS, where we post scintillating and innovative reels from the show. So, a couple articles next week. This was fun. Until then, this has been The End of the World with Michael and Stu.
I'm Michael.
I'm Stu. And we'll talk to you real soon.